In the borderlands of Scotland, beneath the Eildon hills, they say a man once vanished with the Queen of Elfland. Long after, when Thomas the Rhymer returned, she kissed him goodbye, and from that day, no lie could pass his lips. I'm James, this is Mythic Tides. Of all the souls whispered about in the Scottish borders, none lingers quite like Thomas the Rhymer. A poet, a prophet, and some say a man who spoke with the Queen of Elfland herself. His tale is part history, part dream, and it begins beneath a single tree on the slopes of the Eildon hills. There really was such a man, Thomas Learmonth of Eildon, born around 1220. A landowner, a poet, a man of some education. His name appears in old charters and chronicles, but the Thomas remembered by the people was more than a laird. He was the rhymer of the borders, the man whose words could not lie, and his truth, they say, began beneath the Eildon Tree. One spring evening, as the sunlight bled into the western hills, Thomas rested beneath that ancient oak. The air shimmered strangely, half dream, half waking, and a lady appeared on the path before him. Her mantle was of deep green velvet, embroidered with stars, and her hair was crowned with wildflowers, still wet with dew. He thought her the Virgin Mary and knelt before her. But she smiled sadly and said, "I am not the Queen of Heaven, Thomas. I am the Queen of Elfland." She warned him of peril and of the choice before him, to remain in the mortal world or to ride with her into the realm beneath the hills. And because poets have always been fools for beauty, Thomas chose the Queen. He took her hand, and together they rode until the earth opened like a wound, and the hills swallowed them whole. What he saw within is said to have defied mortal speech. They passed through a desert of thorns that tore at his skin, through a land where the very streams ran red like blood, through orchards whose fruit gleamed with silver light. He heard music unlike any human sound, a harmony that wound through bone and thought alike. And when they came to the court of Elfland, all was splendour and dread. No shadow fell there, yet nothing truly shone. He lived among them for 7 years, or 7 centuries, depending on who tells it, where time turned upon itself like a serpent biting its tail. At last, the Queen told him he must return, for mortal years still waited upon his name. But before he went, she laid her hand upon his lips and said, "Thou shalt speak only what is true, and none shall say thou liest." It was a gift and a curse. When Thomas returned to Eildon, the villagers scarcely knew him. He walked as one in a dream. His hair had whitened, though he was not yet old, and his eyes held a strange colour of hill light before the storm. He spoke seldom, but when he did, his words carried a weight that silenced the room. He told of coming wars, of kings who would fall, of a bridge that would never be built, and of a kingdom joined under one crown. And the things he spoke of came to pass, one by one, until people feared to ask him questions. Imagine the burden of such truth, to see what others cannot, to speak only honestly when kings crave flattery and widows need comfort. Thomas's gift set him apart from all living men. He could neither deceive nor soften. He saw the pattern of the world, as it were, woven before his eyes, and that knowledge weighed upon him like lead. They called him True Thomas, and they came from miles around to hear his prophecies. It was said that he foresaw the death of King Alexander III, the rise of Robert the Bruce, and the ruin of castles built upon sand. But though he told of doom and glory alike, he seemed ever weary of speech, as if each truth torn from him cost something that could not be replaced. Centuries later, when tales of Lord Soulis and his red-capped familiar darkened Liddesdale, the people said that Thomas had once given the riddle that doomed the sorcerer. Bind him neither with hemp nor wire, strike him not with steel nor fire, but with ropes of sand and boiling lead, so shall his evil end. Whether he truly spoke it, none can say. But even in borrowed stories, his name becomes the seal of truth. In the border country, his legend grew, carried by shepherds and minstrels. They told how he'd vanished once more, walking out into the night. Some claimed they heard hoofs on the wind that evening. Others swore the Eildon hills glowed faintly from within. And though no grave of Thomas the Rhymer was ever found, The people still point to a crumbling tower near Eildon and call it his. They say he sleeps beneath the hill, waiting for the hour when Scotland calls for him again. What then is his story truly about? Perhaps it's the old warning that truth is perilous, and to see clearly is to stand apart. The gift of prophecy in every age becomes a kind of exile. Thomas was not punished, he was refined, like iron drawn through the fire, until only truth remained. And what is left of such a man but legend? For centuries poets have claimed kinship with him, those who seek the other world through rhyme and reason, those who trade comfort for vision. He's the mirror of the artist's soul, the one who crosses the unseen threshold and returns forever changed. Through him, the fairy world and the mortal world touch, just as song touches silence, or the wind touches the sea. They say Thomas did not die, that when his mortal time was done, the fairy queen came for him once more. On quiet nights, when the wind sighs through the Eildon trees, listen closely. You may hear the faint echo of hoofs, or a voice beneath the hill, whispering truths the world has long forgotten. And if you should ever rest beneath that same tree, take care what company you keep and what promises you make. For beauty often smiles sadly, and truth, once spoken, can never be taken back. If you've got something to say about Thomas the Rhymer, please do leave a comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'm James, this is Mythic Tides. I hope to see you again soon.